Lake Orion voters went to the polls on Election Day to determine the outcome of a number of local, state, county, and national races, including the President of the United States. Dignitaries gathered on a parcel of land near the GM Orion Assembly Plant to break ground on a state-of-the-art $20 million cannabis cultivation facility. The Lake Orion community ushered in the holiday season a little early this year with a tree lighting ceremony in Children's Park. Work was completed on a bridge and boardwalk that connects the Paint Creek Trail to the Pollyant Trail, and a dedication ceremony honored a longtime public servant. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. I'll have those stories and more on this edition of ONTV News. On Tuesday, November 3rd, voters who didn't already vote by mail or by absentee went to the polls to determine the outcome of races at the federal, state, county, and local level. The state of Michigan reported over 5.5 million ballots were cast, the most ever in the state's history. 71% of registered voters took part in the election. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson reports that 3.5 million absentee ballots were cast in this COVID-19 impacted election. In Oakland County, almost 75% of registered voters took part in the November 2020 election. Here are the unofficial results. Former Vice President Joe Biden received 433,982 votes in Oakland County, with Donald Trump receiving 325,916 votes. Biden won the state of Michigan with 50.6% of the votes and securing the state's 16 electoral college votes. Nationally, although votes are still being counted as of this recording, Biden was projected to surpass the 270 electoral college votes needed to win the office of the presidency. Barring any legal challenges, Biden will be sworn in as the 46th president of the United States, along with his Vice President Kamala Harris, on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2021. In the race for United States Senator representing Michigan's 14th Congressional District, Democrat Gary Peters held off Republican challenger John James by a narrow margin of 84,000 votes in Michigan, with 418,156 votes to 334,569 in Oakland County. In the race for 8th District Representative in Congress, incumbent Alyssa Slotkin took the lead late and held on to win Michigan, 217,928 votes to Republican challenger Paul Young's 202,517 votes. Young took Oakland County by more than 14,000 votes.
The same tried and true things that I get stopped in the grocery store about are still up there, right? The price of healthcare, especially as people lose their jobs. The price of prescription drugs, especially as packages are taking longer and longer to come in the mail. I've been hearing from a lot of people unable to get their prescription drugs on time. And then, in Michigan, we're always going to be the place that cares about clean water, both our waters, our rivers and lakes, but also our drinking water. And then, frankly, the big one that I still believe in my bones is bringing some civility and decency back to Washington. I'm out here with Chris Barnett. We are from different parties, but when it comes to working on the community, helping people in our community, that's not a partisan issue. And so making sure that we set that example, especially as a representative of Michigan, where we're a swing state, and it's about getting work done, not the vitriol that we see every day on our screens.
In the race to represent the 46th District and State Legislature, Republican John Riley held off challenger Jody LaMacchia with 36,258 votes to 22,216.
What are some of the things I've stood for while I've been in Lansing? Well, first I would say to reduce the cost of living for Michiganders. Some of those ways have been through reduction of auto insurance costs, or actually I would say more choices in auto insurance, which can lead to lower cost. I've worked at trying to reduce electricity cost. Michigan has a monopoly situation between two electric companies getting 90% of electricity in the state, and that's something that I'd like to see changed and have worked on. And then also corporate welfare. Corporate welfare is a real problem in the state. That's one area where I've worked with Democrats on the other side of the aisle. We've come together, have some bill packages where we're trying to stop this corporate welfare that's going on in the state.
Following the passing of Oakland County Executive L. Brooks Patterson, former Ferndale Mayor David Coulter was appointed in August of 2019 to fill the vacancy. In his first election as the incumbent, Coulter held off Republican challenger Mike Cole for the remainder of the term ending on December 31st, and a full 4-year term by more than 80,000 votes.
When my team and I took office last year, we knew Oakland County was such a great place for so many people that we had to maintain that momentum. And we did that by passing a balanced 3-year budget supported by both parties that preserves Oakland County's fiscal strength and maintains our AAA bond rating. But my team and I also knew that in spite of everything that makes Oakland County so great, there are still ample opportunities for us to be even better. We started looking at areas where Oakland County's government needed to reflect the values of Oakland County's people.
After defeating incumbent prosecuting attorney Jessica Cooper in the August primary, Democrat Karen McDonald went on to face Republican Lynn Getz in the general election. McDonald emerged victorious after defeating Getz by more than 100,000 votes.
I'm a former Oakland County Circuit Court judge who served on the bench for 7 years until stepping down in 2019 to run for Oakland County Prosecutor. Although I loved being a judge, I stepped down from the bench because I believe Oakland County needs a prosecutor who will protect our communities while being smart on crime. Oakland County needs criminal justice reform, a movement which has been overwhelming bipartisan support across the state of Michigan. As a mom and an Oakland County resident, I want nothing more than to keep our children and communities safe. But we have to stop over-incarcerating people at a tremendous cost to the taxpayer for low-level, nonviolent crimes.
Longtime Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard fended off a challenge by Democrat Vincent Gregory and was elected to a 6th term with 407,000 votes to 340,000.
I'm proud to have been your sheriff since 1999, and I'm excited to serve for another 4 years. As we watch many of the events take place across the country, I want to assure you that we continue to strive to be the best law enforcement agency in the country. Many of the reforms being discussed, such as the duty to intervene, have been part of our policies and procedures for decades, and they're ingrained in the fabric of our agency. Our agency has been a national leader on reform and professionalism, and as a result of our team's success, I am the only sheriff from Michigan to ever be named National Sheriff of the Year by the National Sheriff's Association.
Democrat Lisa Brown was reelected to the position of county clerk and register of deeds after defeating challenger Tina Barton by 84,000 votes.
I'm running for re-election to continue providing an accessible, efficient, transparent, and fiscally responsible office to the residents of Oakland County, and to ensure our elections are accurate, secure, and fair. I have saved Oakland County taxpayers millions of dollars while increasing efficiency and access. As a matter of fact, for the upcoming budget, I have reduced expenditures by over $600,000. I believe that just because you have money doesn't mean you have to spend it, especially when it comes to taxpayer dollars.
In the race to fill the position of treasurer vacated by Andy Meisner, Democrat Robert Wittenberg defeated Republican Joe Kent by more than 54,000 votes.
Now, for the past 6 years, I've served as a state representative in southern Oakland County. It is an honor to represent the same communities in which I grew up and where my wife and I are raising our 2 beautiful children. I attended Berkeley High School and I played football and baseball against Lake Orion, so please don't hold that against me. In the Michigan House of Representatives, I serve as vice chair of the House Insurance Committee and on the House Tax Policy and Financial Services Committees. I also served as the vice chair on the House Financial Liability Reform Committee for 2 terms. These roles have given me excellent insight and experience with Michigan taxation, finance, and insurance policy that I will take with me to the office of Oakland County Treasurer.
And Republican Michael Gingell will continue to represent the 1st District on the Oakland County Board of Commissioners after defeating Democratic challenger Michelle Bryant by 5,600 votes.
I've had the pleasure and the honor of serving you at the county for the past 14 years. During that time, we've invested in our economy, supporting the businesses that are here, and working to bring others in. We've worked on driving up our house values, making sure that one of your main assets continues to grow. We've opened up parks, land, and natural assets so that all the citizens have the ability to access them and enjoy them. We've also faced times of challenge where we've needed leaders with the right temperament and the right level of wisdom to make the tough decisions.
In local races, the Orion Township Supervisor, Clerk, and Treasurer all ran unopposed. 6 candidates vied for 4 seats on the Orion Township Board of Trustees. Republicans Brian Burney, Julia Dalrymple, Michael Flett Jr., and former Chamber of Commerce Director Kimberly Urbanowski were all elected, defeating their Democratic challengers. In the village of Lake Orion, voters were asked to fill 4 seats on the village council. Receiving the most votes was former police chief Jerry Narsh with 814 votes. Michael Lamb, Sarah Luxinger, and Ken Van Portfleet were also elected. Voters also approved the legalization of marijuana facilities and establishments with 1,122 yes votes to 597 no votes. And finally, Lake Orion voters were asked to fill 4 seats on the Board of Education. Incumbent Scott Taylor received the most votes with 8,720. He will be joined by Birgit McQuiston and newcomers Susan Flaherty and Daniela Brissett. The newly elected village council members were sworn in via Zoom during their meeting on Monday, November 9th.
I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
That I will support.
That I will support
Constitution.
Constitution
Of the United States.
of the United States
And the Constitution of this state.
and the Constitution of this state.
And that I will faithfully discharge.
And I will faithfully discharge
The duties of council member.
the duties of council member
In and for the village of Lake Orion.
in and for the village of Lake Orion,
County of Oakland.
County of Oakland,
The state of Michigan.
State of Michigan,
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
All right, you are all now official. When we get together, I see you, we will have, I will provide you with a copy of your oath of office, and once received the certificates of election from Oakland County elections, I will also provide those to you. Those will be distributed after the canvass is complete.
The victorious Orion Township candidates were sworn in during special ceremony at the Orion Center on Friday, November 20th.
I'm excited to get to work for the community. I've been part of the community and doing a lot of different things in it for the last couple of years as the chamber director, but this is a totally different capacity, and I've really enjoyed what I've been doing so far on the planning commission. So just getting more deeply involved and continuing to make Orion the best place to live.
I'm so excited to be here with everyone. What a beautiful day we have to be outside on the porch at Orion Center, and what a wonderful board that we have in place. It's going to be a great 4 years, and we're all looking forward to it. We have just amazing talent that's all come together, and it's a pretty special time for the whole community. A lot of great things happening, and we're really looking forward to the 4 years that are coming up.
The school district will have a public swearing-in ceremony for its newest board members during their first meeting in 2021, which is scheduled for January 13th. In November of 2017, Orion Township passed an ordinance to regulate licensed marijuana facilities. 3 years later, an Oakland County-based company was the first to take advantage of the opportunities Orion Township offers. On Thursday, October 29th, dignitaries gathered on a parcel of land across from the GM Orion Assembly Plant in Orion Township to break ground on a state-of-the-art cannabis cultivation facility. The Washington Township-based company Natrabis purchased the land in 2019 and has spent the past year designing and planning the 2-story, 53,000 square foot, $20 million facility.
On our parking lot. Thank you everyone for seriously coming out here. We really appreciate it. This has been a long journey like Mike said. So we're going to go ahead and get these shovels in there. And thank you guys. That's it.
So when we started scouting sites for this mega cultivation facility, we really wanted to be in a suburb of Detroit. We also wanted to be close to where we live. The 3 of us, myself and my 2 other partners, we live 15 minutes away from here. And yes, we could have got cheaper land way up north, but really this is a very high-touch business. This isn't something that you can manage remotely, or at least do it well. Orion Township really welcomed us with open arms. There wasn't fighting. There wasn't, hey, we need to try and get certain things passed because the city's really pushing back against it. So Orion was a perfect fit for us.
Natrabis is hoping to complete construction on the facility in February of 2021. When open, the facility will create 65 new jobs and will generate revenue that will help pay for Orion Township's new building and police station.
What this means to Orion is, first of all, cannabis is legal in the state of Michigan, and the township has opted into 4 of the 5 license categories. So growing, processing, testing, and transport. The one we have not opted into at this point is a provisioning center. So they can't sell it here, but they can grow and process it and test it, and that's exactly what they're going to do at this site. And so not only will we get the property tax revenue from this vacant site, the site that's been vacant for 20 plus years, right across from the General Motors plant at Liberty Tech Park, but we'll also be able to get the annual permit revenue that we're using those funds to pay for our new police station and new township municipal complex, and not raising our residents' taxes. And that was always part of the plan, and that's why we were open to approving these facilities in areas that are not near our neighborhoods, not near our schools, but really this is a great spot for this to go. We're excited for their investment, and we have a great group of folks here that chose Orion, and we're glad to have them.
Upon completion, Natrabis plans on moving their headquarters into the building, and they hope to expand their facilities in 2021. Earlier this year, construction began on a major project benefiting walkers, runners, and bikers of all ages. Recently, dignitaries came together to celebrate the completion of the project. On Monday, November 9th, the community came together on the newly constructed pedestrian bridge that connects the Paint Creek Trail to the Pollyant Trail. The Orion Township Board voted to name the bridge after former Township Supervisor Joanne Van Tassel, who has served both the township and the village for 50 years. She attended the ceremony with family members and cut the ribbon to officially open the bridge to the public.
We can't see anybody. 1, 2, 3.
Simply awestruck. I mean, it's an honor and also humbling that people would think enough to name something this magnificent. That just goes forever and ever and ever. I mean, as I told some people, I walked it about a week ago, and I thought, geez, does it ever end? I thought just around the corner, and no, it kept going and going and going and going, and so this is a magnificent structure. And
you know, Joanne has been a community servant for more than 50 years. I mean, her fingers are on everything that has happened in our community. Joanne has had a part of it, either in front of the scenes or behind the scenes. You can't find someone that's given more of their life to one single community. I think you're hard pressed. And so the irony is I ran against her and won election in 2012. So, obviously she probably wasn't thrilled about that, but I very quickly got to know that her heart beats for this community. She's been such a great help to me. And I have been looking for the last several years for a way we could really honor her. And when we saw this bridge getting set here in this place and just seeing the magnitude of it and the importance of it connecting these 2 regional trails, like the light bulb went off, like this is how we should honor Joanne. And we were trying to make it a surprise. She heard about it, but she's obviously, I think, thrilled with the honor. And I think it's very fitting that this connecting bridge will be forever known as the Van Tassel pedestrian bridge. So.
The $2.2 million project includes the bridge and an elevated boardwalk, which used enough lumber to build 9 homes. Township Supervisor Chris Burnett told us how the project was funded.
So it was about a $2.2 million project total, including the bridge, including the paved sections of trails, the crossing on Clarkson Road. We received a $1.6 million through SEMCOG, through the Transportation Alternatives Program. We received a $300,000 grant from the MDNR, Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund, and then a $30,000 grant also from the DNR for design. So we had $1.93 million in grants. The rest of the money came from our Safety Path Fund, which is the millage that all of our residents pay. So that's how we kind of came up with the funds. But, for just over $300,000 of township taxpayer dollars, we get this $2.2 million asset. So we're really proud of the grants as well.
The bridge and boardwalk is yet another step toward completing the Iron Bell Trail, which will allow someone to potentially bike from Belle Isle in Detroit to Ironwood, Michigan in the western edge of the Upper Peninsula. Lake Orion businesses and restaurants have been severely impacted by the raging pandemic, and many are wondering how the upcoming holiday season will be affected. Here in Lake Orion, residents were encouraged to begin their Christmas shopping early and support local businesses who are hurting. On Thursday, November 12th, the Lake Orion community got a head start on the holiday season when families gathered in Children's Park for the DDA's Sing and Stroll tree lighting ceremony. Santa and Mrs. Claus greeted children and posed for photos, while DJ James Jason played Christmas songs for visitors to sing along to. Children were invited to visit the tree table, which was loaded with sweets donated by local businesses. And at 6 p.m., Santa led the countdown to light the Christmas tree and to light up downtown Lake Orion as well.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nova switch. Merry Christmas, everyone.
I am so pleased with the turnout. You never know. This year has been funny, and you just don't know what's going to happen. But clearly, people feel safe in the park, and they feel like it's okay to come, and we're so glad they're here. Thank you to everybody who came.
The event was made possible thanks to presenting sponsor Genesis Credit Union and premier sponsor Megan Spencer, Real Living Key Realty. And as usual, the Village, DPW, and Police Department provided support as well. DDA Director Molly Lalone encouraged residents to shop local this holiday season and support the businesses that have been struggling during the devastating pandemic.
First of all, I want to remind everybody that when you spend money in town, it's making a family happy. It's helping put dinner on the table for somebody that you live nearby. And also, they reinvest back into the community as well. There are 30 places where you can find some great gifts in downtown Lake Orion. And I believe Debbie gave us all of the stats. I think she said there were 25 places to dine. I don't remember all of the hair salons, but one barbershop and lots of hair salons. 5 different places where you can find home decor and design. We have everything. Just come down and enjoy yourself while you're here.
Merry Christmas! Mrs. Claus and I are so happy to be back in downtown Lake Orion. It looks beautiful down here, doesn't it?
It is. Lake Orion's the place.
All these great lights and the wonderful businesses down here. I've got to hit the chocolate shop.
Oh, the chocolate shop.
Mrs. Claus is a great cook, but hard to beat those chocolates. So
I like the restaurants too.
there's a lot to like downtown here. So Molly and the DDA, they do a great job. So does cable. Good job, Joe.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
The DDA is also inviting residents to take part in their annual passport contest. You can take part in the contest by visiting downtown businesses on Small Business Saturday on November 28th. For more information, you can call 248-693-9742 or visit downtownlakeorion.org. Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day in 1919 to celebrate the end of hostilities between Allied nations and Germany during World War I. Following World War II and the Korean War, the word armistice was replaced with the word veterans to honor all who served in the United States military. Each year, the Lake Orion community goes all out to honor veterans. On Wednesday, November 11th, the Orion Center celebrated Veterans Day by inviting veterans to pick up a boxed lunch and take part in a raffle. 17 veterans and their guests took part in the free event.
So it was a free event, and we just marketed it in our Orion Living and in the monthly newsletters I have sent out to all of our Orion Center members. So anyone could sign up, and it was just word of mouth, Facebook event, and email distribution list that they were able to hear about it.
The Orion Center hosted its first Veterans Day luncheon in 2019 with food and entertainment in the banquet rooms. Of course, COVID-19 prevented that from happening in 2020. Thankfully, a sponsor stepped up to make the box lunches possible, with raffle prizes donated by local businesses.
So we actually had a very generous sponsor, Waste Management. They sponsored last year as well. They came and sponsored the meal. We have honey baked ham box lunches. And then we also had several businesses, HAP, you can see them back here, American House, Buffalo Wild Wings, and then Quality of Life Center donate raffle prizes.
And seniors are encouraged to sign up for the holiday lunch on December 9th, sponsored by Lourdes Senior Community. For more information, call 248-391-0304, extension 3500, or visit orionparks.com. Later that evening, the community assembled at Kensington Church on Lapeer Road to honor veterans with a special ceremony organized by the Orion Veterans Memorial Board and community leaders. Board Chairman Dr. Joseph Mastromateo emceed the event and welcomed visitors. The North Oakland Concert Band provided the music. The featured speaker was Joanne Kocher, author of the book Donut Dolly, An American Red Cross Girls War in Vietnam. Kocher recounted her experiences visiting troops in Vietnam in 1966 and her efforts to help keep morale up.
Each day in the Vietnam War was its own chapter, filled with sorrow, life, death, and heroism. The true story of the Vietnam War and those who served in it will never be completely known. My book, Donut Dolly, is a historic fragment of what it is to be a warrior. It's not politically correct. It's historically correct, a time capsule. We honor the bravery of those who fought to create and defend our great country. But nothing is static. Our nation has had to prove we could defend our interests and our survival many times during our turbulent history. Vietnam was one of those times.
You can view the ceremony in its entirety on Comcast Channel 10, AT&T Channel 99, or you can watch it on demand on the Orion ONTV YouTube channel. One of the perks of joining the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce is a ribbon-cutting ceremony for new businesses. Occasionally, Chamber members venture outside of Lake Orion to welcome a new business. On Thursday, October 29th, representatives of the Chamber of Commerce traveled north into Oxford to celebrate the official grand opening of Dr. Lucinda Burke's chiropractic office, a Wellness Way affiliate. Dr. Burke offers an alternative to traditional medicine to those looking to improve their overall health.
1, 2, 3. Within the last year, I joined the Wellness Way, and they're a network of restoration health clinics that we think and act differently to help those with their health issues that others can't. And so I just started with them in February, and we're just opening that up. We're starting to get patients come back, new patients. We do hormone, food allergy, GI problems, digestive issues, and any cardiometabolic issues. We have the tests here, and if there's a blood sample needed, we send them to a local lab. And then once we get the test results back, we do herbal extracts and supplements. And we then help the patient to begin the repair process. And once that takes place, we eventually want you to fire me, because we want you to have be able to live healthy and a happy life.
For more information about hours or services offered by Dr. Burke, you can call 248-403-8661 or visit oxfordmichiropractor.com. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the hardworking ONTV News team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Thanks for watching.